Okay, so today I want to revise with you all the distributive law. It's a type of simplifying. So far we learned simplifying has different meanings. Simplify. All right, so simplifying we knew meant adding like terms. If you have the same letters, you bring them together. But you also learned that simplifying could mean that you have numbers and letters to multiply, and you crunch them or compact them together. And simplifying also means if you have brackets, you can get rid of the brackets or opening brackets. So simplifying also means opening brackets. So if there were brackets around, they don't call that simple. That is kind of complicated. So by opening the brackets. And in maths, when you open any brackets in a certain way, we call it the distributive law. So we're going to open brackets using something called the distributive law. So our this is one point. Simplifying also means opening brackets. So now we are on the topic of opening brackets. Opening brackets by the distributive law. I don't like the name distributive law. I think it's a stupid name. But the maths book have it and we have to learn it and we should know the name distributive law for this. All right, what does that mean? I'll just give you an example here. If I have two, I have a cage with right, no, hide that too. I have a cage, a bird cage with one canary. You know what's a canary? It's a nice, yeah, nice pretty bird which does whistle real nice. All right. I have one canary and I have two um doves. Right. I'm talking like Trini, two dove. You know how in in maths we don't bother to write the plural and thing. One canary and two dove. Okay, so I have a cage which have one canary and two dove. And my wife know how much I love birds and so on. That she she ended up having a friend of hers had another cage with a canary and two doves, and the friend gave it to her, and she took it from me. So I get a next cage with one canary and two dove in it. So now I have two cages. Two cages. You see the brackets really represent the cage. I have two cages that have a canary and two doves. So if I was to just go in a room, lock up all the windows and the doors, and if I just open the cages so that all the birds could just fly freely in the room, right? How much canaries I have flying in the room? I have two of those, so I have now two canary flying in the room, and I had two doves in each cage. So I'll draw an arrow like this here. Uh, I have how much doves? Four doves in the room. I don't need to draw the brackets anymore because I have just released the birds out of the cages and they're now flying around in the room. My room has, so this here is equal. My two cages here is equal to having two canary and four dove. Any questions? So in maths.
No, sir, but like for the people who don't know how to say, just let them know that the two multiplying on the outside.
Very good. The two is, so this green arrow that I'm showing really means times in. So two times the one canary give you two canary, and two times the two dove gives you the four doves. So now let's just, instead of using the word canary, let the letter X represent how a canary. And if I had doves, let me say, um, The two doves, doves was y. So I have two y's, right? So if X represented the word canary, I have one canary. And if Y represented the word dove, then I have two Y's. And so in maths, we can open the brackets by, and that's why we just draw these arrows like this. And these arrows different from before where we move in terms and so on. These arrows mean multiplying. I'll write it in here, but we don't usually write in the multiply sign. 2 times x gives you 2x. That's why we had our practice with questions before where we were multiplying numbers to letters. And 2 times a 2y will give you a 4y. Now it could get kind of tricky. Um, for example, here's a hard one. I have x, y on the outside multiplied to x plus y on the inside. This one is a popular one that CXE used to like to give you a long time. But seeing that they've given it so many times over the many years, I don't know if they'll ever bring it back again, but it used to be popular. So,
Two is
yeah,
x is x squared y, and the next one is x y squared.
that is very correct. Mm-hmm. Let's
Okay
just
lah.
check that out, right? It's like two sums you're working out there. Sum number one is xy multiplied to x. Okay. And that answer would give you the xy times x gives you x squared y. So you write that down as your first answer, x squared y, or your first term. And then the next one, the next sum will be xy times a y. Xy times a y. Thing is, we don't usually write down all that I'm writing. I'm just writing it out here to explain this one time as we now starting out. Press it down there and I'll correct it. Take a break. So now x, y times y is y squared. And that's your second answer. And a positive times a positive gives you a positive answer. So we have a plus, and we write down that. X, y squared. So the trick in it is making sure you have the squared symbols in the right spot. We're down to 5 minutes for class. Okay, so the other trick in it is you have to be able to work this out in your heads. So you could, and you don't have to draw in the curvy arrows, but you could. A lot of us do. Even I like to draw it in for myself. Um, I find it is help avoid making mistakes. Even though I draw the curly arrows like this, it meant not it didn't mean the y alone times in the x. It means everything on the outside of the brackets multiplying to the two terms inside here. If I had three terms inside the brackets, I would have had three curly arrows instead. I could give you an example of that. Let's look at something like 5x outside the brackets multiplied to 2 plus x plus 3y. Here, because I taught you all terms, you all do see that inside the brackets have only three terms. And that is the logical reasoning why, if you have three terms, you will take the 5x and times it to the three terms. I hope this makes that starting to make the algebra so much more friendly to you now. 5x times 2, 10x. 5x times a x will give you the next term, 5x squared. And a 5x times a 3y will give you a plus 15xy. I just ran out of space here, so I came down. Okay, right. So I have homework for you all in this, which I was preparing last minute, and that's how I come to class late. So this is your homework. I will scan it and post it up for you all to do. Okay.
Okay.
And you'll have to be careful here. And you see a minus alone outside the brackets. Do you know what to do with that? A minus alone outside the brackets means a minus 1. Okay, so this here means, so I want you to write it like this so you'll learn it. When you have a minus alone outside the brackets, it means a minus 1 outside the brackets. So you work out the sum like this, and then you continue, and then you open the brackets.
So it will be minus x plus minus 7.
Yeah, minus x minus 7. Yeah, you agree in it? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that one time and then close off the class. Minus 1 times the x. And here, so you'll learn what to do with these negative things. The first answer, a minus 1 times the x, we learned that you could write it as minus x. And a minus 1 times a positive 7, different signs, you get a minus 7 answer. Mhm. So if you have two terms on the inside with brackets, you should get two terms here by the time you open the brackets. If you had three terms inside the brackets, you would, if you had three terms inside of the brackets, you should get three terms for your answer. Okay, so that is it for today's class, right? You'll have to be careful with these sums here. These question 9 to 16 is only 16 sums you have, but you'll have to be careful with the squares and with the signs here. So the next day we have class, we're gonna quickly correct these and we're gonna move on. I'm trying to see as much work as we could cover for the term. Plus, I will be giving you all some mini assignments for marks this week. So this might be a busy week for you all. That's it for today's class. I'll scan these and post it up in now for you all. All right. Any questions?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
All right then. Have a
No,
good day,
sir.
everyone.
Same to
Yes,
you.
sir.
Bye.
Same to you, sir.
Bye bye.